Every lasting shift in your life starts with a clear intention, because action without purpose just becomes habit, and habit without meaning becomes empty motion. That's why simple acts of faith have stood the test of time. Their power doesn't come from being complicated, but from bringing your mind, your heart, and your will into perfect agreement. When you slow down and choose to act with awareness, something changes inside you first. That inner change is what eventually shows up in your world. This practice is built on that very idea. Before money, before peace, before doors swing open, you must find alignment within. A lot of people struggle because they mix up faith with pleading. Pleading comes from fear. Faith comes from clarity. When you act from fear, you keep asking for a way out. When you act from faith, you declare your direction. That's why desperation weakens your spiritual posture, while calm confidence strengthens it. This act is designed to move you out of anxiety and into stability. It's not about begging for rescue. It's about establishing order. And order attracts peace, and peace creates the space for provision to flow. We've always used physical acts to anchor invisible decisions. We live in bodies, not just thoughts. When your body participates, your mind follows. That's why symbolic actions help your brain lock in a commitment. When you touch something, hold it, and place it with purpose, your nervous system pays attention. It signals seriousness. This isn't superstition. It's how human focus works. When an intention is embodied, it becomes much harder to walk away from. Stress about money is rarely just about money. It's about uncertainty, feeling out of control, and fear of the future. When peace is missing, even abundance feels shaky. That's why this act brings together both money and peace. One without the other leaves you unbalanced. Money without peace leads to worry. Peace without provision leads to frustration. True alignment needs both. This practice deals with the root cause before the result. Acts of faith work best when they're simple. Complexity feeds doubt. Simplicity builds trust. If something is too complicated, your mind questions every step. When it's clear, your mind can relax. This act cuts through confusion by being straightforward. You know what you're doing, why you're doing it, and when. Clarity removes resistance. Your intention must be pure. That means no desire for revenge, no comparing yourself to others, no pressure to prove anything. The goal isn't to outperform anyone or to force an outcome. The goal is alignment. When intention gets mixed with ego or fear, the results become unstable. That's why your posture matters before you begin. You're not trying to manipulate life. You're positioning yourself to move in harmony with it. Another key foundation is silence after your declaration. Many people undo their own intentions by talking about them too much. Repeating statements obsessively signals doubt, not faith. Faith speaks once and then rests. That's why this act requires restraint once it's done. You act, you declare, then you move on with your day. Trust grows in the quiet. This act isn't for everyone. If you're acting from panic, obsession, or pressure, pause first. Your mind needs to be settled. If someone is chasing a quick fix from a place of fear, the act loses its meaning. This practice is for those willing to slow down and choose their direction with calm assurance. Timing matters, but your readiness matters more. This act doesn't replace effort, wisdom, or responsibility. It supports them. It clears the internal noise so your decisions become sharper and opportunities you might have missed become visible. Peace allows for discernment. When your mind is calm, doors that were always there come into view. That's how alignment works. Nothing forced, nothing rushed. Before you move forward, understand, the power isn't in the objects. The power is in the intention you attach to them and the posture you hold while you do this. The objects are only anchors. Without your intention, they mean nothing. With your intention, they become reminders of your direction. This foundation must be clear before anything else is done. A paper bill is chosen because it represents movement, exchange, and circulation. Unlike coins, which can symbolize storage, a bill is meant to move from hand to hand. It carries the idea of flow. When you choose a bill, you're not declaring hoarding or holding on out of fear. You're declaring that money is allowed to come, to move, and to serve its purpose in your life without anxiety. The amount on the bill does not matter, because this act isn't about quantity. It's about your relationship with provision. Money responds more to how it is regarded than to how much there is. If you believe only large amounts have power, you unknowingly declare lack. Using any bill removes pressure and comparison. It says that provision begins right where you are, not just where you wish you were. Money is more than currency. It's a symbol of effort, time, value, and exchange. Every bill represents someone's work, goods provided, or a service rendered. When you hold a bill consciously, you're holding the concept of value meeting need. That's why awareness matters. You're not just touching paper, you're touching what connects human effort to daily life. Holding the bill before placing it in your pocket is important because it establishes your intention. Touch anchors awareness. When you pause and hold it, you signal to yourself that this moment matters. Rushing skips the alignment. Stillness creates it. This brief moment tells your mind that money is not an enemy or a source of stress, but a tool that responds to order. The bill should be clean and treated with respect, not crumpled or treated as insignificant. Respect signals readiness. When someone treats money with disregard, they often experience instability around it. This isn't punishment, it's a reflection. Order attracts order. Calm handling communicates maturity. Whether the bill is folded or unfolded only matters for consistency. Choose one way and keep it that way. Changing it repeatedly signals uncertainty. Stability reinforces intention. This small discipline trains your mind to commit and follow through without overthinking. Don't use borrowed money. Borrowed items carry another person's intention and energy. This act is personal. It must be rooted in your own space and responsibility. Using what belongs to you strengthens your ownership over the declaration you're making. You don't spend this bill during these 2 days because the act is about holding alignment, not consumption. Spending it would break the symbolic continuity. This doesn't mean money should never be spent. It just means this specific bill is temporarily set aside as a marker of your intention. For 2 days, the bill becomes a quiet declaration carried close to you. It doesn't shout, it doesn't demand, it rests. And this restfulness is key. Money responds better to calm certainty, harm to pressure. Carrying the bill without obsessing over it trains patience and trust. In your spirit and mind, the bill speaks one message: provision is allowed to meet me in peace. Not rushed, not forced, not feared. This message continues silently as you go about your day, reinforcing alignment without effort. A key is chosen because it represents access, not just effort. Many people work hard but remain stuck because effort without access leads to exhaustion. The key speaks of permission, entry, and transition. It symbolizes the moment when resistance ends and movement begins. That's why the key is essential. It balances the energy of labor with the energy of opportunity. Keys are tools for transition. They only exist because doors exist. Where there's no door, a key has no purpose. This makes the key a symbol of readiness. It implies that something is prepared to open when the time is right. Carrying a key intentionally declares that doors are not just imagined, they are real, waiting for your alignment. A personal key is best because it carries familiarity and your authority. A key you use daily already responds to you. It knows your hand. This familiarity strengthens the symbolism. A random or decorative key lacks that personal connection. This act works best when the object already belongs to the rhythm of your life. The type of key matters less than its meaning to you. A house key, office key, or car key all work because they represent entry into safety, function, and purpose. What matters is that it opens something real. This grounds the act in reality, not fantasy. Don't use a broken or unused key as it represents blocked access. A key that doesn't work carries frustration, not movement. This act is about removing resistance, not reinforcing it. The key must function properly because function symbolizes flow. Keys represent permission. Often people are blocked, not because resources are absent, but because permission is missing, whether internal or external. The key symbolizes both. It declares that you are allowed to enter spaces, conversations, opportunities, and seasons that match your alignment. Keys are also connected to timing. A door may exist, but opening it too early or too late creates problems. The key doesn't force the door, it waits. This patience is important. Carrying the key reminds you that access happens at the right moment, not through pressure. When paired with the bill, the key completes the message. Money without access creates stagnation. Access without provision creates frustration. Together, they declare balance. Opportunity meets resources. Carry the key, don't display. Display invites ego, carrying invites discretion. This is a private act. Privacy strengthens faith. When things are done quietly, they settle deeper in your mind. Throughout the 2 days, the key speaks silently of open pathways. Remember, not all doors look like doors. Some appear as conversations, ideas, or gentle redirections. The key reminds you to recognize access when it appears, even if it doesn't look dramatic. The pocket is chosen because it is your personal territory. It's one of the closest spaces to your body that still allows for movement and discretion. Things in your pockets move with you, not ahead, not behind. This makes the pocket a symbol of what you carry internally as you navigate daily life. When you place something in your pocket with intention, it becomes part of your personal rhythm, not an external object. A pocket is different from a bag or purse because bags are set down, opened, and shared. A pocket stays with you continuously. This continuity matters. The declaration isn't meant to be interrupted. The pocket ensures it stays with you through every movement, interaction, and transition. Choosing left or right pocket isn't about one being better, but about being aware. The right is often linked with action and giving, the left with reception and internal processing. Choose intentionally. Once chosen, keep it the same for both days. Consistency brings clarity. Switching sides introduces indecision. The bill and key must be placed in the same pocket because unity is the message. Separation weakens the symbolism. When they touch, they reinforce each other. Provision and access stay connected. Keeping them together trains your mind to see opportunity and resources as partners, not separate struggles. Wear comfortable clothing. If your clothes are tight or irritating, they create distraction. This act works best when your body is relaxed. When your body is calm, intention settles deeper. Be practical. Choose clothing that lets the pocket hold the item securely without causing discomfort. Pockets close to the body are best because proximity strengthens a gentle awareness. Items kept close become subtle reminders without shouting for attention. This gentle presence is ideal. Loud reminders trigger anxiety. Quiet reminders build confidence. The pocket gives you balance between awareness and ease. Checking the items repeatedly weakens the act because it signals doubt. Doubt seeks constant reassurance. Faith rests. Once the items are placed, leave them alone. Trust grows when you stop monitoring outcomes. This restraint trains patience and confidence. Secrecy strengthens acts of faith. The pocket conceals. This isn't about shame, it's about protection. When intentions are shared too soon, they can be diluted by other people's opinions or skepticism. Privacy lets your intention take deep root. Keep moving during your day. Walk, work, interact, and rest while carrying these items. This integrates the declaration into real life. This isn't a still ritual, it's a moving one. Life continues and the act moves with it. The pocket, in the end, represents responsibility. What you carry is what you're willing to steward well. By choosing your pocket, you're saying you're ready to carry peace and provision steadily as part of your daily walk. Timing matters because SE intention needs a receptive moment. Not every day carries the same emotional weight. The 7th of January sits in a unique space. The rush of New Year's celebrations and resolutions has settled, but the year is still fresh and forming. By this time, the mind is calmer, sleep patterns normalize, and thoughts slow down. This calm creates room for conscious alignment instead of reactive promises. This date represents a point of stabilization. You've re-entered your routine, which makes it the ideal moment to set direction without panic. Acts done in calm are far more sustainable than acts done in excitement. This day lets your intention land without resistance. A single day sets direction, but a second day reinforces it. Repetition without obsession builds confidence. The second day confirms this was a decision, not just a fleeting impulse. 2 days are used because our minds trust patterns more than single events. One action can feel symbolic. Repeated action feels real. The second day anchors the first and removes doubt about your seriousness. That's why this isn't rushed into one moment and then forgotten. This date avoids the emotional extremes of the year's very first days. There's no pressure of the fresh start. It carries a quiet realism that allows for alignment that lasts beyond the initial emotion. Choosing this time reduces any sense of desperation. You're not chasing the year, you're walking into it calmly. This posture attracts peace before provision, and peace prepares space for money to flow without stress. The 7th of January supports the natural formation of routine. By now, habits are beginning to form naturally. Placing this act within your routine makes it part of your life, not a separate ritual. Integration strengthens its impact. This date also respects timing. It's not too late and not too soon. Waiting too long weakens intention. Acting too fast creates pressure. It balances patience with momentum, letting your intention move forward steadily. Money responds to order more than to urgency. Urgency repels clarity. Order invites opportunity. This date promotes order. It sets a tone for how you will handle money and peace throughout the year. This act avoids the feeling of begging that sometimes comes with the first day. Instead of pleading for the year to be different, you calmly declare your alignment within it. This shift in posture changes everything. The 7th is often a quiet day. Quiet strengthens focus. Focus strengthens intention, and intention strengthens results. Noise dilutes, silence sharpens. This date also marks commitment beyond words. Many intentions are spoken on the 1st and forgotten by the 7th. Acting on this day signals follow-through, which builds trust within yourself. Finally, this date reminds you that peace doesn't come from rushing into the year, but from entering it with steadiness. When peace leads, provision follows naturally. When you chase provision to find peace, exhaustion follows. This day places peace first. Do this act early in the morning, when your mind is least cluttered. The morning carries a neutral, fresh energy. The day's events haven't interfered with your focus yet. You're not reacting to anything. You're choosing direction before outside influence. This timing lets you plant your intention without resistance from stress or conversations. Before you touch the bill and key, pause briefly. This pause is important. It separates ordinary movement from intentional action. Even a few seconds of stillness signal that what comes next is deliberate. Rushing collapses awareness. Stillness strengthens it. Hold the bill in one hand and the key in the other. This physical separation matters at first. It lets you acknowledge what each represents before uniting them. One hand holds provision, the other holds access. Holding them separately clarifies their meaning. When you make your declaration, use few words. Longer speeches often dilute intention. Short, calm statements settle deeper. Words spoken without strain carry authority. It doesn't matter if you speak aloud or silently. What matters is sincerity and steadiness. Whispering, speaking, or thinking all work when your intention is clear. Keep your tone calm, not overly emotional. Emotion fluctuates, calm endures. This isn't a moment for excitement or desperation. It's a moment for quiet certainty. Calm tells your mind that alignment is already in motion. After declaring, place both the bill and the key into your chosen pocket together. Do this slowly. Speed signals urgency. Slowness signals confidence. This movement completes the act. Once placed, the declaration is sealed. After placing them, continue with your day normally. Don't pause to feel something special. Don't look for signs. Normalcy reinforces trust. Obsession weakens it. Faith doesn't hover, it rests. Throughout the day, resist the urge to touch or check the items. Checking implies uncertainty. Let them remain undisturbed. This restraint is part of the practice. It teaches patience and confidence without effort. At the end of the day, do nothing special. There's no closing ritual. Rest matters. Sleep helps integrate intention. Your mind processes alignment quietly overnight. On the second day, repeat the process exactly as before. Same pocket, same posture, same calm. Repetition without variation reinforces commitment. Consistency tells your mind this was intentional, not impulsive. If you forget one morning, don't panic. Panic undermines alignment. Simply resume the next morning. Faith doesn't punish mistakes, it corrects calmly. Distractions may arise. They don't cancel the act. Life continues. This practice is designed to exist within real life, not outside it. Let normal activity coexist with your intention. After the second day, remove the items without any ceremony. The act is complete. There's no need to keep them longer. Completion matters. Overextending it turns intention into attachment. Your mindset after completion is important. Carry the piece forward. Don't wait for proof. Proof follows alignment, not the other way around. When your mind rests, opportunities surface naturally. After completing, the most important shift to notice is inside you, not outside. Often the first change is a sense of calm where anxiety used to be. This calm isn't excitement, it's steadiness. When your mind settles, you think more clearly, respond more wisely, and notice opportunities without strain. This inner shift is the foundation upon which visible changes later rest. Results rarely arrive in dramatic ways. Doors often open through ordinary moments. A conversation that goes differently, a decision that becomes clearer, a delay that lifts quietly. If you expect fireworks, you might miss alignment unfolding in subtle forms. Subtlety isn't weakness, it's precision. Peace often arises before money does, because peace prepares the space. Without peace, money creates stress. With peace, money creates stability. When your mind stops bracing for loss, it becomes receptive to gain. That's why this act prioritizes a calm posture over urgent expectation. Opportunities may come through people rather than big events, a suggestion, an introduction, a shift in someone's attitude. These are doors too. They don't always look like grand entrances. Sometimes they look like simple redirections. Recognizing them requires awareness, not force. Gratitude after completion matters. Gratitude grounds your alignment. NT. It signals a readiness to receive without a sense of entitlement. Gratitude doesn't need visible results to exist. It's an acknowledgement that order has been restored within you. Don't repeat this act over and over. This practice is not meant to become a routine. It's a marker, not a habit. Over repetition weakens its meaning. Trust grows when you let the act stand on its own. What continues afterward is the mindset it trains. Calm declarations, less urgency, more clarity. These qualities shape your decisions long after the objects are put away. That's how alignment sustains itself. Acts of faith work best when they lead to responsible action. Peace allows for better discernment. Better choices attract greater stability. This is the chain that follows alignment. There's no need to monitor outcomes. Monitoring creates pressure and disrupts flow. Let results arrive naturally. Life responds to steadiness more than to demand. Ultimately, this act teaches you to trust the process. Doors open when readiness meets timing. Provision flows when peace leads the way. When peace becomes your foundation, money stops being a source of fear and starts becoming a tool of support. This teaching closes with a simple truth to carry with you long after the act itself. Peace is not a reward you wait for after money arrives. Peace is the ground on which provision is built. When you move through life calm, steady, and aligned, doors respond without force. You stop chasing outcomes and start up. Recognizing access. You stop fearing lack and start stewarding flow. This act was never about objects in a pocket. It was about training your posture for the days ahead. Carry that posture forward. Let calm lead your decisions. Let clarity guide your steps. Let trust replace urgency. When you live this way, doors open naturally. Provision meets you where you are, and peace becomes your default state. This is Joshua Selman wisdom, where truth meets clarity, peace restores order, and wisdom opens doors. Now, you might wonder what happens in the quiet hours that follow. The space between your declaration and its unfolding is sacred ground. It is where trust is forged. Do not mistake this quiet for inactivity. The most profound shifts often happen beneath the surface, like roots growing deep in winter, unseen but preparing for spring. Your role now is not to dig up the seed to check for growth. Your role is to water the ground with your peace, to let the sun of your confidence warm the soil of your expectancy. This is the discipline of the in-between. Many miss their moment because they are looking for a sign written in lightning, when the answer is most often a whisper in the ordinary. A sudden clear thought about a phone call to make, an unexpected sense of release from an old worry, a chance meeting that feels strangely timely. These are the fingerprints of alignment. They are quiet, but they are real. Learn to appreciate subtlety. The grandest doors in life often swing on the smallest, quietest hinges. As you move through your days following this act, pay attention to what you feel drawn to and equally what you feel a gentle resistance toward. Alignment has a navigation system. It is called peace. When you consider an option and your spirit feels calm and focused, that is a green light. When you consider something and feel a knot of anxiety, a sense of rushing or forcing, that is a red light. You are learning to let peace be your compass, not just your circumstances or your fears. This is how you walk in discernment. There will be moments when old anxieties try to return. The mind, used to its old rhythms of worry, may send a familiar signal of lack or fear. When this happens, do not fight it with panic. Simply remember the weight of the bill and the key in your pocket. Remember the calm of your declaration. You've already set a new course. You do not need to declare it again in desperation. You simply recall it in confidence. You steady yourself. You take a deep breath and return to the posture of the act. Calm, deliberate, trusting. This is how you retrain your nervous system. This is how faith becomes your default, not just an event. The provision that comes may not look like you imagine. It may come as an idea that saves you money. It may come as a repaired relationship that opens a new path. It may come as the strength to let go of something that was draining your resources all along. Money is energy, and it flows through channels of lu and peace. Sometimes the greatest provision is the closing of a leak, not just the opening of a faucet. Be open to how it arrives. Your peace will help you recognize it. This practice at its heart is about sovereignty. It is about taking back the authority over your inner world. The world outside will always have noise, opinions, and pressures. But within you, there is a chamber where you can declare order. That chamber is your heart, your mind, your will, united in purpose. When you learn to access that place and plant a flag of peaceful intention, the outer world must eventually conform. It may not happen overnight, but the direction is set. The current has changed. Think of the 2 days not as a magic spell, but as a deliberate rehearsal for how you wish to live. You rehearsed carrying peace and provision together. Now you are living the performance. Every time you face a decision about money, let that rehearsal guide you. Ask, am I choosing from peace or from panic? Every time you stand before a closed door, remember the key. Ask, am I trying to break this door down, or am I trusting that the right access will appear in timing? You are cultivating a lifestyle. And what of the objects themselves? The bill and the key. They have served their purpose. You can spend the bill now with gratitude, seeing its movement as part of the flow you declared. You can use the key as always, but now with a silent reminder that you carry access within you. They return to being ordinary objects, but you do not return to being the same person. You have been imprinted with a new pattern. The ritual is over, but the reality it pointed to is just beginning. Some days will feel easy and your trust will flow like a river. Other days will feel heavy and you will need to consciously return to that place of stillness. This is normal. This is the journey. Alignment is not a one-time achievement. It is a constant returning, a gentle correcting of your course back to true north, which is your inner peace. Do not judge yourself for the days you feel off center. Simply pause, remember, and realign. The grace is in the returning. Let this understanding settle into your bones. You are not at the mercy of chaos. You are a co-creator with the principles of order and flow. Your intention is a powerful force. Your peaceful posture is a magnet. Your clear declaration sets a frequency. The universe, life, God, spirit, providence responds to frequency. It cannot do otherwise. When you emit the frequency of frantic lack, that is what you meet. When you emit the frequency of calm trust and orderly expectancy, that is what finds you. You are always broadcasting. This act was about consciously choosing your signal. So walk forward, not with a hungry heart, but with a full one. Not with empty hands outstretched, but with hands ready to work, to receive, to give, to steward. Carry the knowledge that peace is your birthplace and your dwelling place. Provision in all its forms. Ideas, opportunities, resources, relationships is drawn to that peace. Doors are not obstacles. They are invitations waiting for the right key. And you carry that key. It is made of your faith, your clarity, and your willingness to act with intention. This is the deeper journey. It goes far beyond a single act on a specific date. It is about who you are becoming, a person grounded in calm, directed by purpose, and open to the flow of a life that is not perfect, but is deeply, profoundly in order. This is your watchtower. This is where you see clearly. This is where you stand firm. Let every day be an extension of this truth. Let every step be taken from this place of powerful, peaceful alignment. This is Joshua's Selman wisdom, where truth is not just heard, but lived. Where clarity cuts through confusion, where peace rebuilds the broken places, and where wisdom turns every key, opens every door, and welcomes you home to the life you were always meant to lead. Steady, supplied, and serene. Let this truth sink even deeper, past the layer of thought, and into the quiet place where knowing resides. You have begun a conversation with the universe that is not made of words, but of resonance. Like a tuning fork struck clear and true, you have sent out a note of order. Now, listen for the harmonies that return to you. They will come not as echoes of your own voice, but as new melodies that fit perfectly with your song. There is a tenderness required in this season of waiting. Tendance. Toward yourself. The old patterns, the worn grooves of worry will feel familiar and even comfortable. Do not scold yourself when your mind wanders back to them. Instead, guide it back with kindness as you would guide a child who has lost their way. Say to yourself softly, we are not going that way anymore. We chose a different path. This internal gentleness is not weakness. It is the strength of a gardener tending a new seedling, protecting it from harsh wind. You will discover that peace has its own intelligence. It is not a passive state of doing nothing. It is an active, alert, and receptive presence. From this place of peace, you will find that your decisions become simpler. Options that once seemed tangled and complex will reveal a clear thread for you to pull. You will find the courage to say no to things that drain your peace, even if they promise temporary gain. You will find the clarity to say yes to things that feel right, even if they seem small or uncertain at the start. This is peace guiding you. It is your inner wisdom, no longer shouted down by the noise of fear. Consider the rhythm of nature. The earth does not force the seed to sprout. It provides the consistent conditions, soil moisture, warmth, and trusts the life within the seed to do its work. You are learning to become like that fertile ground. You are not forcing outcomes. You are providing the consistent condition of a trusting, peaceful heart. And just as nature is unfailingly abundant, so too will life respond to the fertility of your faith. Your job is not to be the sun and the rain and the sea all at once. Your job is simply to be the good ground. There will be moments of validation, small confirmations that you are on the right track. a bill that was less than expected, a solution that appears from a forgotten corner, a sense of being exactly where you need to be, even if it's not where you thought you'd be. Collect these moments. Do not brush them aside as coincidence. Tuck them into your heart like precious stones. They are the currency of trust, more valuable than any paper bill. They build your spiritual confidence, stone upon stone, until you have a fortress of faith that no storm of doubt can shake. This journey redefines what it means to be strong. The world celebrates the strength of the clenched fist, the relentless hustle, the forceful will. But there is a greater strength in the open hand, in the calm breath, in the will that is aligned with a flow greater than itself. This is the strength of the river that carves canyons not by force, but by persistence and direction. It is the strength of the tree that bends in the storm but does not break because its roots are deep. You are cultivating that depth. Your roots are growing into the soil of I am at peace. And from that place, you can bend with any wind without snapping. Do not be alarmed if old situations, old challenges seem to persist for a time. Alignment is not always a sudden escape from difficulty. Sometimes it is a change in how you stand within the difficulty. The circumstance may look the same, but you are different. You are no longer a prisoner of the situation. You are a witness to it, a changer of it from the inside out. The pressure that once produced anxiety now produces patience. The uncertainty that once bred fear now breeds a watchful curiosity. This is the alchemy of peace. It turns leaden experiences into golden wisdom. Remember, you are not alone in this. When you set an intention for alignment, you join a stream of countless others who have chosen the path of conscious faith. You are supported by an invisible fellowship of those who believe in the power of quiet intention. Feel that solidarity. It is a real energy. You are part of a timeless rhythm. The human heart seeking and finding order again and again across the ages. Your simple act connects you to that sacred history. So let your life begin to reflect this internal order in small external ways. Create order in a drawer. Complete a task you put off. Speak a word of kindness. These are not, say, parrot from your declaration for provision and peace. They are expressions of it. You are demonstrating to the universe that you are ready to receive more order by stewarding well the order you already have. You are saying, I respect the flow and I will honor it in all things, large and small. The days will turn into weeks and the weeks into months. There may be times you forget this feeling of centered clarity. Life has a way of pulling us back into its busyness. If that happens, do not grieve. You can always return. The act with the bill and the key is over, but the doorway it opened within you remains. You can step back through it anytime with a single quiet breath and the recollection, I am aligned, I am at peace, I am in the flow. This is your true anchor, not a ritual, but a remembrance of who you are and how you choose to live. Walk on from here with a light step. You are not carrying a heavy burden of expectation. You are carrying a quiet promise, a promise you made to yourself that you will no longer live from a place of lack, but from a place of connection. That you will no longer see closed doors as walls, but as invitations to trust the timing. That you will allow your life to be a conversation between your deepest intention and life's gracious response. This is the endless expansion of a life lived in alignment. It starts with a single, simple act. It grows into a posture. It flowers into a character. And it ultimately becomes your legacy, a life that oved through its own calm and fruitful journey. That peace is the most powerful intention of all, and that everything good flows effortlessly from its source. This is Joshua Selman wisdom, where the journey inward becomes the path forward, where every ending is a wiser beginning, and where your life, lived in deliberate peace, becomes the most profound sermon you will ever preach, a testament to the quiet, unstoppable power of a heart that has found its true north and forever journeys home. Let's move even closer to the heart of the matter. Beyond the practice, beyond the principle, there is the person you are becoming in the silent aftermath. This is where the true transformation takes root, not in the grand gesture, but in the quiet, unspoken moments that follow, when the ritual is complete and you are simply left with yourself and the unfolding of your day. That is when the seed is truly planted. The world hasn't changed yet, but your point of view has. And that changes everything. You will start to notice a new kind of space opening up inside you. It's a space between a triggering event and your reaction to it. Before, a worrisome thought about money might have instantly spiraled into a full-blown story of disaster. Now, you might find a pause. In that pause, there is a breath. And in that breath, there is a choice. You can choose the old story, or you can choose to remember your declaration. This pause is sacred. It is the fruit of your intention. It is the evidence that the alignment is working from the inside out. Think of your peace as a clear, still pond. For years, stones of worry and fear were tossed into it, creating constant ripples of disturbance. The act of alignment was the moment you decided to stop throwing stones. Now you are in the waiting period where the water is settling. It will take time for the last ripples to fade. Your mind may still send a ripple across the surface, an old anxiety, a familiar doubt. Your work is not to fight the ripple, but to refuse to throw a new stone. You simply watch the ripple fade and you return your attention to the deepening stillness beneath. Each time you do this, the water becomes clearer, calmer, more reflective. This clarity will begin to reflect in your external world. You may find yourself drawn to different conversations, letting go of gossip or complaining about lack. You may find a natural inclination toward order, clearing a space, organizing your finances on a spreadsheet, cooking a nourishing meal. These are not chores, they are love letters to your new foundation. You are honoring the peace within by creating order without. You are saying with your actions, I am a person who prepares the table for blessing. I am ready. There is a profound connection between inner peace and outer opportunity. Anxiety has a narrow vision. It can only see lack, blockage, and threat. Peace, however, has a panoramic vision. From its calm vantage point, you can see possibilities that were invisible before. A casual comment from a friend becomes a useful idea. A setback reveals a hidden alternative path. A moment of stillness gives birth to a creative solution. You are not manifesting from a place of need, but receiving from a place of wholeness. And the universe responds profoundly to wholeness. This path requires a gentle courage. The courage to be different. The courage to move slowly when the world screams for speed. The courage to trust an invisible process when visible evidence is scarce. This courage is not loud or boastful. It is the quiet courage of the seedling pushing through the dark soul toward a light it has never seen, but knows instinctively is there. You are that seedling. The light is your destiny of peace and provision. Keep pushing gently. Keep trusting the direction of your growth. You must also make peace with the idea of enough. The chase for more, when driven by fear, is a bottomless pit. Alignment introduces you to the sacred experience of sufficiency. It's the feeling that in this moment, you have what you need to take the next right step. It is not complacency, it is profound trust. From this place of enough, you can operate from generosity rather than scarcity. You can tip freely, give freely, share freely, not because you have a surplus, but because you trust the flow. And this act of trusting the flow is the most powerful magnet for more flow. Remember your humanity. You are not striving to become a perfectly serene statue. You are a living, breathing person navigating a complex world. There will be days when the peace feels fragile, when the old noises are loud. On those days, be kind. Speak to yourself with the same tenderness you'd offer a dear friend. It's okay. We're still learning. The alignment is still true, even when I don't feel it perfectly. This self-compassion is the oil that keeps the engine of your faith running smoothly. It prevents the friction of self-judgment from grinding your progress to a halt. As you continue, you'll begin to sense the rhythm of your own flow. There will be seasons of intense outward action and seasons of deep inward reception. Alignment helps you dance with these seasons instead of resisting them. When it's time to act, you will act with decisive clarity. When it's time to wait, you will wait with patient expectation. You are learning to be in partnership with the timing of your life, not at war with it. Finally, know that this work you are doing, this conscious cultivation of inner order, is the most important work there is. It radiates out from you in ways you cannot measure. Your calm becomes a sanctuary for others. Your trust becomes a testimony. Your peaceful posture in the face of life's storms is a quiet revolution. You are not just changing your life, you are adding a note of harmony to the world. A note of all is well. In a chorus of fear, this is your sacred contribution. So carry on, not with the weight of a heavy mission, but with the lightness of a profound truth. You are a being of spirit having a human experience, and you are learning to navigate that experience with grace. You have set your coordinates. The internal compass is calibrated. The journey is underway. Every step taken in peace is a step toward your highest good. Every breath of trust is a prayer answered. You are walking the path of the aligned heart, and the destination is not a place, but a state of being, a state of everlasting, unshakable serenity, where you know beyond all knowing that you are always held, always guided, and always enough. This is Joshua Selman wisdom, where the soul finds its footing, where fear dissolves in the light of understanding, where every ending whispers the promise of a new beginning, crafted in peace, delivered with grace, and lived in the boundless, steady rhythm of a love that provides always.